Coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas, this is Punk Brats, a podcast focused on the lives and experiences of our military brats. We didn't serve, we got served. Now here are your Punk Brats, Rose and Lisa.
Gee, it's Rose.
Hi, it's Lisa. Welcome to another episode of Punk Brats. Hi, Rose.
Hi. So we are officially into season 4. I think this is our 3rd episode.
Season 4, episode 3. Yes.
Yeah. So we are in the swing of things. How exciting.
Yeah. And so many more guests to come. So what's happening? What's happening?
Well, summer vacation has officially started.
Yay.
So
that's
this
awesome.
is, I'm just kind of like cruising over here now. I'm always so happy on the episodes we do during, during summer break. Wait, did I say spring break or did I say summer break?
I don't know.
Did say. So you're not paying attention to me.
I just know. I just heard the word break and I'm like,
break?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You just think about like, well, first of all, before we get going, let's get our caller taken care of. Don't we have a caller from last episode?
Yes. So yeah, that's good. Before we jump into today's episode, let's answer a question from Jade in Texas. Jade in Texas wants to know what inspired us to start Punk Brats and what does being an Army brat mean to us?
I love that question. First of all, I love your name, Jade. As an Asian, we love Jade. But that's a great question, Jade from Texas. Rose, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yes. Okay,
so basically what inspired me was you. I knew that from the beginning I wanted to start a podcast. This was something I was going to do on my own. And actually, I think we mentioned this in a previous episode. The intro music was done by Chris, our producer, a.k.a. Lisa's husband, for me to use on a podcast. But I never ended up getting around to doing that. So Lisa came to me and said, hey, let's talk about being military brats. We realized that, we have our own culture and we have our own stories that rarely get talked about. So I think for me, that's basically how it came about. We were just sitting on the couch talking about it and boom, next thing you know, Lisa's ordering microphones and headphones and Chris is getting new equipment and we're like, oh, I guess we're doing this.
So and what about the second part of the question about being an Army brat?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I guess being an Army brat means being incredibly proud of our dad for serving our country. But not only being proud of dad, but being proud of mom too, because she, the queen. She didn't only adapt to like being married to an American. She adapted to being a spouse of an Army soldier.
Yeah,
and raising children in like overseas. So
that's what you.
Yeah, I mean, military families, we sacrifice together, and being an Army brat just means that it's just going through everything together and being resilient and just persevering, I guess.
Okay,
yeah.
Good answer. Yay. Okay, that's Punk Brat Rose. As far as I go, I guess I should answer the first part of the question first.
So, what inspired you to start Punk Brats?
So, as you know, we have our parent company, which is a nonprofit organization called Hats Off for Veterans. And I have worked in nonprofit for several years, and most nonprofits usually have like some type of community outreach program. That's part of their mission. And I know we're veteran focused, but as a military brat, as I was doing my research, I realized it was a really neglected community. And I don't know, you and I were hanging out and the podcast thing came up and boom, it was like a light bulb. And I said, let's do it. And I just love the fact that you named us. You actually came up with why we call ourselves Punk Brats in episode 1, season 1. but yeah, I mean, we came up with it together really because we started Hats Off together.
Right.
So it's sister power. Yeah. We just, we have our other sister, Patty, and she's with us in spirit as far as all the things we're doing project wise. Ooh, that sounds weird. Like she's not with us any longer. No, Patty's still with us.
Spirit. She's just geographically unavailable.
Geographically unavailable. Patty's probably like listening to this, like, what? I'm still here with y'all. But yeah, so that. But then as far as what does being an Army brat mean to me, I think I have to answer that question in parts. What did it mean to me as a little girl? I had no idea, right? Elementary school, younger, I was just living, right? As a kid. Didn't really pay attention. Middle school years was, my first time getting an ID card and all the impact as being an Army brat, the responsibility. I was kind of annoyed, I guess, like there was too many responsibilities. I didn't really care. It wasn't until I became an adult. And now how do I feel about being an Army brat? I'm so grateful. Yeah, I just think back as a kid and my teen years of how much I rebelled and hated it. And now I'm so opposite. God, I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah. Means a lot to me. So hope that answers your question, Jade in Texas. And if you have a question for the Punk Brats, please call us at 512-254-5989, or you can even email us at info@punkbrats.com. Visit our website and you can send us a message through there at www.punkbrats.com. So Rose, who do we have coming up?
So today's guest has a story that is, unlike anything that we've ever featured before. Daniel Minx. Mm-hmm. He is a proud Navy brat whose father passed away while he was stationed at Guantanamo Bay before Daniel was born.
Wow. Yeah. So he passed away before Daniel. Daniel was in his mom's stomach and his dad passed.
Oh yeah. So, gosh, I mean, terrible. Even though he never had the opportunity to meet his dad, the military connection and I guess that legacy, remained an important part of who he is. So
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing the story for sure. Just a little bit, how we always get to know our guests a little bit before we interview them. Just hearing what he shared with us is so inspiring. And I know he's excited to tell it. One thing I love about Daniel is his energy. He's really inspiring. I mean, nothing stops him. He literally is rocking and rolling through life. And he's just a badass to me. So, I guess we can let him tell us our audience's story.
So let's get started.
Yeah. So come on out, Daniel Minx. Hi, Daniel. I'm Lisa.
Hi, and I'm Rose. Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the Punk Brats.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Rose, for having me.
Absolutely. So, Daniel, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? You can start with basically where you were born. Your story is going to be a little bit different from our normal guests, and they'll soon figure it out. But tell us where you were born. Take us through your school life and where you currently are now.
Okay, so my dad was stationed in Norfolk in Virginia. So both my brother and I were born in Portsmouth, Virginia, which is where they have the Navy hospital. But yeah, unfortunately, 7 months, actually, I rewind, 3 months before I was born, my father had passed away. He was involved in an accident on his destroyer in Guantanamo Bay. It was just a kind of horse playing accident. So 7 months after I was born, my mom made the decision. My mom is Japanese. Her and my dad met in Japan, and she had always wanted to come to America. So I guess it was a perfect match. So 7 months after I was born, we moved out to San Diego, California. Nice. And then, from there, and her reasoning behind it was for her to return back to Japan would be kind of a little shameful for her to make this big decision and then kind of go back on the decision. So she chose San Diego. It's the closest to Japan without really going back to Japan, other than Hawaii, but there's just more opportunities in San Diego. So that's where my brother and I grew up, in San Diego up until elementary school and middle school. We both attended in San Diego, and then the location we were at was near Miramar. I think Miramar Navy Base. We had access to the base. So growing up, I've always had access to the commissary and the Navy base. And then right before high school, we moved up to Orange County.
Okay.
And Orange County is where we went to high school. And then went to university, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Cal Poly.
Yes.
So is that where our uncle went?
Yes, but in Pomona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the sister school.
Got it.
And they are the Broncos. We are the Mustangs. So kind of similarities.
Broncos.
Yeah, and then now I find myself in Tustin,
California. In Tustin.
In California still. Yeah.
You're 100% California, huh?
Almost, yeah. Minus the first 7 months in Virginia, but they say like 2 out of 4 who are living in California are not from here, not born. I think 1 out of 4 is born in California. The other, 2 come from other states, and 1 out of 4 come from another country.
Wow.
I'm a transfer.
I've been living in Texas for a while now, but I still consider myself a California girl living in a Texas world.
Yeah.
I still consider myself San Diegan.
Yeah, I bet.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how did you feel when your mom said, all that time you're in San Diego and then in high school, she uproots you and says, because that's very similar, right, to military kids.
Yeah, it's very similar to like what brats go through.
Yeah, what we go through. Change.
You're leaving after middle school where you've established relationships. And now she's like, okay, we're moving. Were you excited or were you devastated?
Part of me was devastated just because I had all my friends there. And that last summer in San Diego was probably like the most favorite summer I had growing up.
Oh.
But then the part of me was thinking, a new adventure. I can start a school, clean slate. I wasn't the most perfect student.
I was like, clean slate? What do you mean?
I know. Where are we going with this?
So yeah, it was a mixed emotion because, I'm very adventurous. So it was kind of fun to start a new life. But at the same time, heartbreaking because, leaving all my friends behind who I grew up with.
Well, how much older is your brother?
My brother's 16 months older, so we're very close.
So you're close in age. So he was also uprooted. I mean, he already had started high school, and now it's completely changing.
More devastating for my brother, because he already started high school. He, just like me, he had his friends, his really close friends.
Yeah.
And we're doing it for my stepfather at that time. And so my brother's relationship with my stepfather wasn't the same as my relationship with my stepfather. So he didn't understand as much.
That change. Yeah. I mean, military kids, you either adapt or you don't. We've heard happy stories, and then we've talked to military brats who hated it and still hold it against their parent because they feel they are the way they are because they were moved around so many times.
Yeah. I can't imagine moving multiple. This was only one time during my upbringing. Multiple times. Gosh.
So did you move like in the summer where you got to start school like from day one, or did you have to move after school had already started? Yeah. That also is a big.
Yeah, being the new kid.
Yeah. Luckily, right before school started, we moved. Okay. Yeah. But the new kid, I was the new kid all over again. So. It was
I was
kind
going
of
to say
fun.
my sister we got moved, and I got to start in ninth grade. So I was lucky. But Rose, already going 2 years at Camp Zama in Japan, and then all of a sudden going to an international school. I felt more sorry for my sister. It was harder for Rose probably than for me and my little sister.
Yeah, and we, went to school. I think we started school like in October or November or something like that. So it's like,
Oh my God.
relationships with students had already been established and stuff. And
cliques
it's
and
like you come in,
entourages.
for each class you go to, the door opens, you look in and you're like, ugh, figure out where you're going to sit, just all that. Oh my gosh, I'm bringing back all these core memories that are like
stressful. It's stressful, especially the teachers who put you in the front and say, well, tell the class where you're from, because we're military kids. They want to hear our history, But what was so cool is when Rose and I started, when we started Camp Zama, we had come from Fort Hood and in Texas. And I was so happy because I walked into that classroom and I saw two sisters. And the only reason they were in the same grade is because the older sister Susan failed a grade. And so they ended up in the same school year. But I saw Lisa and her sister Susan, and I was like, oh my God. I was so happy to see somebody I knew, because they had come from Fort Hood like a year before. And I never knew where they moved away to. And we bumped into them again in Japan. So that first day, it was relieving to see a friend from a year ago from another military base.
Yeah, when I went to Japan, I had the same experience too, where there was a boy in my classroom who was like, hey, did you go to Nolan? I was like, yeah. It was really, really kind of crazy, which at the end of every show, I mean, we'll get around to this, but we never say goodbye. We always say see you later, which in our case was always, which is what was happening. So
yeah, and explain our logo, because your husband drew it. I mean, there's the dandelion.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to explain the dandelion because he doesn't
me off there, Lisa. But you know what? Let's go back to talking about. I'm very curious about the way you grew up. It's very interesting to me. Growing up, how was your dad's story told to you? Was it something you carried like quietly, something that you celebrated openly? Like how old were you when you found out, and how did that shape you?
I think I was about 3 years old. I started kind of understand, like, how come my household, there's not this older gentleman living here, but I go to my friends' homes and they've got this guy around. I was like, who's this guy? Okay. Because when I was growing up in San Diego, my mom had a friend, and I don't know what happened to her spouse or her husband, but he wasn't in the picture. So it was normal. Like, there's no guy here. But then my neighborhood friends, they had dads, and so I think one day, maybe around 3 years old or 4. I asked my mom, like, where's dad? And then at that time we had picture albums, and then she would say, oh, this is your dad. And he had passed away, but I didn't really quite understand. But at first, I don't know, I guess I took it as like, why me? Why our family? Why did, something tragic happen? But then my mom would always reassure me that I had a lot of my dad's personality, a lot of his a lot of looks from my mom, a lot of the personality from my dad. And that's kind of how he wanted his second son. And just so happened, I did get a lot of the personality from my dad, a lot of the looks from my mom. So I was always taking it as, there's that silver lining. There's something that, even though my dad had passed away, he's still living in me, through me. And so I guess, I started to take it as something more positive. There were times when I'd cry myself to sleep and, just ask why, how would my life have been with him in our lives? Those, I guess, the steps of, was it mourning or
grieving?
Grieving, correctly.
The grieving process.
I was doing that. As I was growing up, and same with my brother. I remember a moment where we had to write about our dads. Well, he had the assignment. My brother had the assignment. We had to write, or he had to write about our dad. And he's like, well, what do? I don't have a dad. So we kind of sat in his room. We cried, and that was like the first time I remember, maybe about 6 years old, we all had a chance to just cry. My mom, my brother, and I, all of us, maybe 8 years old. So yeah, that was kind of like that. We're getting it out of our system. Mm-hmm. We're now, I don't know, I guess, yeah, like you said, like the grieving part is almost over, and let's take everything else positively. But my life would have been very different, if my dad was still in the picture, because living in Virginia, there's really not much in Virginia at that time. My mom wanted to go to school, so in a way, there was other positive things. My mom was able to go to university in San Diego, finish that, and having such a tragedy, hardship at a young age, it strengthened us. I know it could do the opposite, but for my family, it kind of strengthened us, which would help me in my later years. When I was 27, I suffered a spinal cord injury. So it helped me get through that, having the experience of hardship.
Speaking of that challenge, so let's rewind back to college. Okay, so you go to college, and what did you major in?
I majored in nutritional science. Yeah, I wanted to work I was very athletic, so I wanted to work for like a sports team.
Okay. I was going to say, because when you and I visited and talked before the interview, I do know we talked about sports, and you were very athletic and hands-on with, what were some of the sports and things that you liked to do? What were some of your adventures as a California guy?
Yeah. I grew up playing baseball and football, like most young kids. But then I was more of an adrenaline junkie, so I gravitated towards the action sports, skateboarding, all the sports that are popular in Southern California: surfing, skateboarding, BMX, and that grew into mountain biking when that started to become popular, which ended up I raced during college as a semi-professional downhill. That was my specialty, downhill mountain biking.
Wow.
And so
how fast would you go sometimes? The speeds?
Maybe up to like 50 something miles per hour. But at that time, they were kind of getting away from the top speed portion. They were challenging more the skill of the rider and then the capabilities of the bike. So a lot more jumps, a lot more like very vertical trails, a lot of rocks.
I see those videos on Instagram. I know, where they're wearing their GoPro and they're going down those mountains, and it's like, don't fall, please don't fall. And it's like,
Chris
how do
and I
you
watch
even
those all the
see
time.
what is coming up next? Like I can't even see over that. And it's, it's a lot of those ones that like Red Bull Energy sponsor too,
Yeah, the extreme sports, like the X Games. So Daniel, did you jump out of airplanes and do that kind of extreme stuff too?
No.
Okay.
The type of athlete I always like to be in control of how much adrenaline I'm giving myself. So the more adrenaline, the less brakes. If you want to, you can't really, other than the parachute. But you're not as much control. For me, when I'm in control, when I'm in that flow state, and that's when the adrenaline's really flowing. But in jumping out of out of an airplane, it's initial adrenaline, but other than that, that's it. There's no reward.
You couldn't pay me enough to do that. No way.
So post injury, are you still very active in all the extreme sports?
As far as watching, yes, I'm at the point where I can watch them again and still enjoy. But no, given my injury, it's very tough for me to participate in those type of sports. Okay. So I've kind of switched my gears. My adventure is more in traveling. I love to travel.
Where are some of the places you've gone?
I've gone to Japan, Mexico, Italy, United Arab Emirates, Dubai, France, Spain, Colombia, Peru,
Wow.
Costa Rica, Panama.
Wait, you haven't said Korea yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
What's up?
Not
What's
yet,
up with
not
that?
yet.
Why? Why, Daniel-san?
Maybe there's not a Formula One circuit there yet.
Yeah. Okay. When I'm gonna get my skincare products, Korea is definitely on the list.
For real. Oh my gosh.
So we need to tell our audience the connection with Daniel. So Daniel is our cousin's sister-in-law's brother-in-law. Did y'all catch that?
Right.
Okay. So Daniel is half Japanese. We're half Korean. So his sister-in-law is full Korean, married to his brother, who they are half Japanese, half white. And if you still don't get it, just rewind and listen again.
And so their kids are half Korean, a quarter Japanese, and a quarter white now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All of us Asian something kids, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
so
my
cool.
gosh.
I love being half Asian.
Year 3000 will all be mixed with something.
Exactly.
Probably
Yeah.
we'll just all be one.
Well, I mean, but you know, I admire you, Daniel, because you've had tragedy before you were even born. And like you said, it impacted you as a young boy. And then to finally just have the powwow with your mom and your brother to accept it. So you got that out of your way, only to turn around and face tragedy again. I can't even imagine what it felt like for you as someone who was so active and outgoing to be faced with this type of challenge. What encouraged you and inspired you to say, you know, F it. I'm not gonna let this stop me?
No, that's a really good question, because at first, you're met with a decision to sink or swim, and being so independent, being so athletic, to having all that stripped away, I unfortunately wanted to sink. But actually, my family, my mom, my brother, all my friends were there to support me. So the first about 3 or 4 months were rough, up until about little by little over the span of 3 years, things were getting better. So I would say after 3 years, I could then look at myself in the mirror and say, this is the new Danny, new Daniel. And I would say with with the tragedy, with the hardship growing up, that definitely helped me, because I was always thinking throughout my whole life, being very competitive, never give up. I would never let a spinal cord injury win. For me, giving up, that means it won. So I never wanted to give up, never wanted to lose this battle with paralysis, even though, yes, I'm paralyzed, but there's so much more that I could look forward to. So just over the years, learning those type of things, what are my strengths now? And so in a way, I had to mourn, I had to grieve the loss of that Daniel, who was the semi-professional mountain biker, who was the show-off, who was the chef, who was doing all these cool things. And I'm like, okay, now is time to my kind of rebirth, the way I look at it. And I was meeting a lot of other wheelchair users that were still enjoying their lives. So I was like, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it. I start setting myself goals. Something that's impossible would be to drive again, because for me, I have a lot of strength in one arm, not so much in my other arm, and not much strength and coordination in my legs. So I drive with one hand.
So you get independence by being able to drive, and you said you drive with your one arm is not as good as the other arm, so you have to drive with one arm. So
yes,
is that correct?
Okay. So with my injury, I burst my 4th cervical vertebrae, which left me completely paralyzed. All I was able to do is do a shoulder shrug to kind of like signal, like, I don't know, kind of that shoulder shrug.
Yeah.
So I have now the recovery of my right arm. Left arm is very far behind, and then I have very little control and strength in my legs. So yeah, with my hand controls, it's called the Scott system. It's basically flying an airplane. So all of my like steering wheel, gas pedals, I don't touch at all. These are all secondary controls that I drive kind of like with a joystick. To turn left, joystick goes left. To turn right, joystick goes right. And then for throttle, I push the joystick forward. And then for brake, I pull it back. And
wow.
yeah, it's cool. It's just very expensive. So my level of injury is quite expensive. For example, someone who's a paraplegic who has perfect normal use of their upper body, they would transfer themselves into a normal, like a passenger car. And then they would have hand controls just for the throttle and brake and use one arm for the steering. But in my case, yeah, everything is.
Yeah. So what kind of car do you have? What kind of
right
vehicle
now
is
it's a Chrysler Town and Country minivan.
Okay.
Yeah, with a ramp. So I can actually drive from my wheelchair. I don't have to transfer to the driver's seat.
Oh.
Yeah, so which is huge because with my strength, I would need someone else's help to transfer so I can park my wheelchair right where the driver's seat would be. And my wheelchair actually locks into the chassis itself. And then, it's very common, like a Toyota Sienna or like a Honda Odyssey. Those are all converted. And it's huge for my independence. This has like opened up so many more doors for me to just have my own schedule, not rely on someone else.
But the technology is amazing too now.
Yeah.
How far wheelchairs have come, how far computers to communicate. Like my friend was a quadriplegic and he got injured during skiing, but yet he was able to still communicate with all of us and still, like you said, sink or swim. And he was like, I'm not going to let this control who I am. And Ron went on to live a wonderful life, and he used his computer and did everything we did, just didn't walk and use his arms as well. So
correct. Yeah. And that's,
I find that fascinating with your car.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's more of a sports car than us using the, using like a throttle, like it's like driving a stick shift, like driving should be fun, like an activity. Like people who drive only automatic cars, they're kind of missing out on the sport part of driving.
No, it was tough to learn at first because you're doing everything with one arm. It's almost like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. The algorithm of driving just goes to just one arm. So it's kind of neat. People look at my car, they take videos. My friends will take videos of me like, how are you doing this? I'm so used to it now. But I think being an athlete definitely helped. There is definitely a talent to driving, and especially with these type of hand controls. Like with a motorcycle, you have the throttle on your right hand plus the front brake. The left hand is your clutch. The right foot is your back brake. The left foot is your gears. So it's it's kind of.
Do you have to go to like a class?
Yeah, I had to
learn all this.
Occupational
right?
therapist,
okay.
And then I had the specific driver instructor with that specific hand control. And then once I pass all that.
So Daniel, you are inspiring. And I know you said you're behind on social media, but have you ever thought about sharing your story every day and just in the life of Daniel Minx? Seriously, to be an inspiration to people who just got injured, who may think like their life is over. I mean, you're inspiring to me, and I'm able-bodied.
Thank you.
Especially a lot of our young
you're an
military, a lot of military people who are injured.
The wounded warriors.
Like our wounded warriors, exactly.
But people are looking at reels of stupid things like dogs stretching, and look at me watching all my raccoon reels, right? I mean,
I watch mukbang.
But Daniel, your story is inspiring. You could actually take your story, make it a TikTok sensation to teach and inspire others. I mean, and then some, you might want to have your private life. I get that. But I'm just letting you know that you're an inspiration to the punk brats, and I think your story is worth sharing.
No, I appreciate it. Yes. No, I do plan. And a lot of my postings on my Instagram show my travels, that I use a wheelchair, and I just get a little lazy, and I feel like.
Well, tell us about your wheelchair.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What kind is it?
It's called a Will, WHILL. It's a Japanese company that's based here, and actually it's in the USA. A unfortunately, the wheelchair that I use specifically has been discontinued just because of the insurance. It's such a headache to go through insurance, and new companies having their wheelchairs FDA approved. This one is, but now they've kind of geared more towards the elderly population, the ambulatory, but only ambulatory, maybe in their household. But when they go out in public, they need something to take them a little longer, a little further distance. But so I can't really push this wheelchair, but it's more, it looks more advanced, which is kind of cool. It's more of a conversation rather than, oh, how did you get injured? It's more of, oh, well, cool wheelchair. I like your wheelchair. Yeah. So, yeah. And
can it stand up?
No, this one doesn't stand. It has four-wheel drive, but not the four-wheel drive that'll take you onto the beach. That's kind of its cool little feature. But I was the first one to use this chair while driving. So it's kind of a cool thing. So I was like kind of their poster child for a minute. But yeah, this is having something like this rather than like a medical device looking device.
That's really cool. My best friend in high school was in a wheelchair, and we love heavy metal music. And so we would call him, his nickname was Lord of the Armored Wheelchair.
Damian. He's so cool.
Nice.
Damian, yep. So we would sit there during our free period. We'd have a free class, we'd call our free period. And we had these little, studs, like you see the studded belts, or like what all the metal kids would wear. And the leather part of his wheelchair, we would take we would stick these studs in his wheelchair. Yeah. So in the back of his wheelchair was all studded out like a heavy metal leather jacket, but it was his wheelchair. Nice. And then after we were done, we just like looked at it and we were like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It's like a Motorhead wheelchair. And so we were like, oh yes, you are the Lord of the Armored Wheelchair.
He was so cool. Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
We just lost him this last year or 2 years ago.
Oh, are you really? Okay,
yeah, cool. I'm a metal
we have
punk.
That in common too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And my wheelchair.
Let Rose. Oh. He's an extreme sportsman with BMXing, skating. I figured you'd be in that punk rock, ska, metal world of some sort. Yes. I don't see you listening to country.
Not yet. Country or Western, not yet.
Hey, well, guess what it's time for? It is time for the lightning round.
Yay! This is my favorite part because we get to ask you some random questions, and it's for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. These are totally random and just the first thing that comes to your head, and if you don't really quite know how to answer, just say pass, and then I'll come back to it at the end. You don't get to weasel out of it.
Yeah. These are quick answers.
Yes. Okay. So are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Number 1, what was your first job?
First job was working at a bagel shop.
Cool.
Yes.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Speak every language in the world. My goal is to be trilingual, so speak every language in the world.
Nice. If there's a spider in your house, do you kill it or set it free?
Set it free. Or I let it live in my house.
Oh, that's even better. Would you rather stream a movie or go to the movie theater?
Go to the movie theater.
What is your favorite comfort food?
Curry and rice with tonkatsu. Katsukare.
Yes. Oh my God. Gross. That would be my favorite.
I know. Okay, so if you won the lottery, what is the first crazy thing you do or buy?
I buy an airplane. I buy a commercial airplane and travel.
Yay, that is awesome. Okay, sushi, hamburger, tacos, or all of the above?
Sushi.
Okay. What is your biggest pet peeve?
When people are chewing with their mouth open. A lot of noise. That's I can't handle that.
Okay, so place you've never been to that you would like to visit.
Pass.
Okay. Would you rather have to sing everything you say or always speak in an Elmo voice?
Seeing everything I say. I'm a horrible singer.
You'd rather sing.
And then back to a place you've never been to that you would like to visit. I know you've been to a lot of places.
Yeah, I would like to visit Germany. I know it's kind of weird.
Good answer. We lived there and loved it.
Yeah, that's part of my blood. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love Germany.
Is that it, Rose?
That's it. That was a fun one.
This lightning round. Clap, 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 clap. You know where the second place you were supposed to say is Korea.
That's true. Yes.
And I was thinking, since we were thinking about I was thinking on one of the questions where I asked you if you'd rather stream a movie or go to the movie theater. It's like, oh my gosh, being in a wheelchair, you're always going to have the best seat in the house.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right?
I've been to...
I always sit right behind the wheelchair row because that's the best area to watch the movie.
Rose, Damian at the bars, remember? Damian got through to get the drinks for us.
Yes, my friend who was in the wheelchair, every single concert we went to, I was his escort. So I got to go everywhere with him, and we would just pass everybody and go all the way down. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best.
Great
it was amazing.
And a little cheaper price. Yeah, great parking.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is how crazy we were in high school. I mean, Rose, he would go out with Rose and her friends, and us sometimes, me too even, and we would take him out of his wheelchair and sit him down and then ride around on his wheelchair as drunk. And what was so crazy is in the beginning, his mother would be the one to go out, right, Rose? You said his mother
went to all the concerts with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But she started to trust Rose and the crew to take him.
She started to trust us, and we were like, no, you can stay home. And
he was from Yugoslavia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she would bring her little book, and she would sit, we were, at a Slayer concert.
She was so patient.
She was sitting there right in the front row with her book and her little pen light, and she would have her earplugs in, and we would take him down, and we would just be like, totally going crazy. And then after the show, we would go find her, and then she would take him home. And she did everything. She was amazing.
Everything for him.
Everything.
That is rad.
Yeah.
He was so he had cerebral palsy.
Muscular dystrophy.
Muscular dystrophy. And he became the international spokesperson for people with disabilities. But America, when Yugoslavia went away, they would not recognize his visa. So Rose and I were never able to visit him. He never was able to visit us here. Oh. So, because we went to an international school.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, he made it to New York for the UN, but he could only go from his hotel to the UN building, hotel, airport, home. Yeah, he didn't get free travel, and he wasn't able to freely travel in the United States because his visa was not recognized.
Wow.
But,
but he got
was an
ill.
amazing human being.
He was, but he got ill a couple of years ago, and we lost him.
Oh.
And we ended up doing a worldwide funeral for him on Zoom. With his mom, and it was just amazing to see all of our friends.
His mom and his girlfriend.
So cool.
His girlfriend.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Yeah, likewise,
Daniel.
Yeah.
And you really have an inspiring story, and I think you still have so much to do. Right? What are your plans? What's coming up?
Oh, I would love to travel to all the Formula One races, and which will then bring me to places which I really wouldn't have interest in. For example, Azerbaijan. I don't know anything about Azerbaijan, but they have a Formula One race, and I'd love to go visit. So I'd love to do that.
So that's your interest. Do you like F1 races?
F1 races, yeah. And
okay.
then,
Sweet.
I have a friend who, him and I, we love to travel, and we'd like to start some type of foundation to help people in wheelchairs travel. Whether it's within the United States, whether it's international, we'd like to have a foundation to get people over that fear, because people get so comfortable in their home setting that they don't want to even go outside. One is they don't want people to see them in their wheelchair. And another is how accessible, but we want them to kind of get to a point where they feel very comfortable in their wheelchair and they're now troubleshooting. Hey, if I get into a situation where I can't get up a curb, or I can't enter a building, what do I do? How do I use the bathroom in another country? So these are huge things that people have barriers from themselves, and we kind of want to break down those barriers and show them, hey, we will help you out with the expenses. We want you to travel because we find so much pleasure enjoying traveling. We want others to feel that way.
Well, are you currently part of a foundation or part of any organization?
No. I've
so we're hoping to start.
I think that's a great idea of what you're thinking about doing, because people have to see you in action for you to prove that life can go on and there is life beyond just walking.
Correct. I agree.
Right? I mean, you are proving that every day.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to add to what we were talking about before with your friend, my mom and I also, after this accident, this injury, we had become closer because before she was working so much, I was doing my activities. We never really talked, hung out. But then now after my accident, we're definitely a lot closer. So there's that silver lining.
You're a mama's boy.
I am. I admit it, yes.
Well, I really enjoyed being able to spend my Christmas holidays with you and your family.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
your family.
We were surrounded by so many kids, Rose.
Your family.
Oh, I know. I went to it last year
for Christmas.
Oh yeah, you were there last year.
I was there last year. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh, our families are huge, and they're still having babies.
Your husband playing Santa Claus was the best.
Yeah, Christmas Santa, and it's so funny, Rose, because we just have such a great family, you know? And but anyway, is there anything that you want to share with our audience before we let you go, Daniel?
Or anything you want to plug?
Yeah, should I plug my Instagram?
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe that'll motivate me to
please do.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
To post more. It's a role model, ROLL _ model, MODEL. So role model.
I love
it's kind
that.
of a play with words. Yeah. Not ROLE model. I'm a role. Yeah. So I guess this is my way to show people that if you're disabled or if you're even not disabled but afraid to travel, then look at all the adventures that I've been on. And
or any disability for that matter, right? I mean, there's so many disabilities in so many different ways. There people are scared to come out of their comfort zone and expose that disability, you know, and you are just you're going to be that one step closer for people. And I just really hope, look, if you do end up doing this big social media thing and all of a sudden everybody's like, whoa, role model Danielson, you know, and I like calling you Danielson because Karate Kid, but I'm just going to say, hey, the Punk Brats inspired you.
Yes. Thank you, Punk Brats.
Do it.
You're welcome.
You have to do it. Yes. Oh Please my gosh. We're going to be following you too.
Yeah. All right, Rose. Well, you want to explain how you close us out?
Yeah. So us as military brats, like I was talking about before with meeting, you know, people that we've seen in different bases and stuff, we never say goodbye. We always say, see you later. So see you later, Danielson.
All right. See you later.
See you later, Danielson.
See you later, Lisa.
Wow, Lisa. Oh my gosh.
I'm never going to complain about my life ever again. Never.
That was so inspiring.
Very
Oh my
inspiring.
Gosh.
You know what I love? Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
You have no.
Listeners, we're talking over each other because we're just so like inspired. I mean, Daniel's faced challenges that would stop most people in their tracks, but he chose to take that in a different direction. And, you know, suffering from a life-changing spinal cord injury, I mean, he just continued to push himself physically.
I just love how he also said, like, how, you know, well, I mean, like, it wasn't all, you know, bells and whistles in the very beginning, you know? I mean, he had to get to that place in his head mentally also to move forward. And I just love the fact that when he talked about getting his car, like driving the independence. Yeah. I don't know. Everybody wants that independence, right? To drive. But we just thank you, Daniel, for getting so deep and sharing such a personal story with us. I hope you inspire other folks who are disabled and have a disability that they might not think about. The things like, I've never thought about traveling. I didn't think about I could drive. Or there's that one person who just got injured and are dealing with the very beginning stages of it. And I don't know, it's like, like Rose, how we tell military brats who complain about moving so many times and we're like, oh, there's light at the end of the tunnel, we promise.
Yeah.
It's like his message to people with disabilities is that, yes, you're in a dark place now, but I promise you, it's all up to you and you can move forward and just have that life you've always wanted still. There might be some, just might have some challenges, like he said, but he does it.
Yeah, he does it. And I mean, he's continuing to, I guess, redefine what's possible. Yes. And the fact that, he's so ambitious. So he has such an entrepreneurial spirit. And he just, I guess, living his life with a determination that I guess honestly kind of puts me to shame.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm never going to complain about, not being able to do something because he's got the biggest challenge of us all and he does it. And if you're listening out there and you know someone who's got a disability or you feel like his story, Daniel's story can help, please share this episode. And number 2, if you want to reach Daniel, let us know, contact the Punk Brats and we'll get in touch with Daniel. I'm sure he would love to be an inspiration to others and help out as best as he can. So thank you, Daniel. Yay. Daniel Minx, Daniel's son, as I call him. Daniel's son.
Yeah. I just love the story. It was so good.
It was very good. Wow, Rose. Yeah. So this is episode 3 and we have so many more to come. We got great stories this season, but you know what I did though, on another note?
What?
I bought us tickets. And I bought us tickets to first we're going to Rush, right? You and I?
Yeah. I know that. I know about the Rush tickets.
It's like within a few days of each other, though. And then a few days later, we're going to Iron Maiden, Anthrax, and Megadeth.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I'm so excited. I'm going to be like that 16-year-old girl in Germany. I have not, and gosh. I don't know. I used to make fun of people who go to like the Rolling Stones and stuff because they're like ancient history, But now I'm like, oh my God, I'm one of those old people going to the old shows. But it's okay because, hey, it's my life and I'm having a great time. And I think it's all the lineup too, the original lineup for Iron Maiden. So I'm really excited. I've seen them more than anybody else as far as metal music. They're my number one go-to as far as growing up.
Okay. Wow, I'm super excited. Thank you.
No, I'm so excited, Rose. We're going to go have a good time.
I would say probably the bands that I've seen the most, like over and over again.
Yeah.
Would have to be like the Bouncing Souls. I see them every single time.
Fun.
I try not to miss them.
So much fun.
And I've seen Motorhead quite a few times.
Another fun band.
The Ramones quite a few times. Yeah.
It's kind of sad because you just mentioned
over and over.
You just mentioned 2 bands that we're never going to be able to see again.
Yeah.
Motorhead, and Ramones. I mean, those are extinct. Oh my God, I didn't think we could use that word, but those bands are extinct.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Wow. What other bands have gone extinct on us?
Oh, stop it. I don't want to talk about that.
But you know what? I'm really enjoying the new music these days, like listening to a diverse. Ask me when I was 16 or 15, it was like only metal. I refused. No, don't even try to tell me about listening to whatever. I was so stubborn. But now as a grown adult, I'm more diverse and open-minded. And I really wish we had like Pandora around when we were growing up.
Oh my gosh, I love all genres of music. If you look at my playlist, it's like a schizophrenic playlist. I have everything from like gangster rap to Jesus worship jams to classic Korean folk songs.
Oh, no, let me tell the story. Rose,
weird.
So Rose picks me and my mom up to go to eat. And I get in the car, my mom gets in the car, and Rose is jamming to this Korean guy from the 1970s. And she played a song that I remembered as a kid, but I hadn't heard since I was a kid. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Rose? She goes, I'm jamming to some old Korean music. Yeah. And even my mom looked at her and was like, omana, which in Korean means, oh my God. Like, omana. I was like, you were fun, Rose. I do like your taste in music. You definitely sent me a diverse playlist today.
For sure.
What else is happening? I guess before we have to say see you later.
You might want to throw out our website and ways for people to get in contact with us, the phone numbers.
Yeah, I guess I'll throw it out again. I did in the beginning, but I guess I should always do it at the end too. But hopefully you listeners are listening from beginning to end. Check us out at www.punkbrats.com. Call us at 512-254-5989. We might actually play your question on an episode, or run your question, or post your question, whatever it's called. Email us at info@punkbrats.com. Rose, do a shout out really quick before we go of Craig's band for those who are overseas and stuff.
His band Cold as Life, they are going to be playing in Torgau, Germany, which is just, I believe, south of Berlin. And that's for the Ain't Like You Festival it's June 11th, 12th, and 13th. And they are playing on Friday, June 12th.
That's so cool.
So that's Cold as Life. Playing Friday, June 12th in Germany.
That's in only a few days by the time we get this out, so you might not catch that show. But
maybe.
Y'all, check out my brother-in-law's band, Cold as Life. We're biased, and I got to plug him, in our show anytime we can. So check out Cold as Life. Craig Holloway on bass. All right, Annie, so take us out.
All right, everybody. Instead of saying goodbye, you know us, we always say see you later.
Yep.
See you later, Lisa.
Hi, Punk Brat. This is Rebecca from Hawaii. As a dog and cat lover, I have a question regarding your punk pets. Can you share a story about one of your punk pets while living overseas? Thanks so much.